my name is Kira. I don't have an opening, but I do have some quick housekeeping stuff. So I've been having a lot of trouble lately with YouTube getting it to, allow me to upload videos, and then I can't monetize. And it's not like I make enough money off of YouTube to even get paid anyway. But anyway, I'm getting a house. Hopefully I'm going to have a nice setup for recording, that I'll be able to do it at any time of the day and not just late at night when the rest of my family's asleep. But it does come with a lot of new expenses, obviously. And so, because I don't make money off of YouTube, if you would like to support me financially, to be able to, pay my mortgage, I have set up a coffee, and someone has already made a very generous donation, and I really appreciate it. But anyway, that's my thing. Basically, I want to be able to keep doing videos, but it's really not time or energy efficient. I would really be better off doing other things, but I do like doing this, so I want to keep doing it. But blah 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 blah. It just kind of sucks. The situation sucks. Anyway, that's basically it. If you think that you like me enough to donate $1, everything helps and means the world. So that's it. Thank you. Let's get started. Yeah, see, new setup would mean not that. None of that. Old homes. This one is old homes.
I'm a nice person. I am.
Then why are most of these stories you've told me about you arriving somewhere and then getting punched in the face?
That's because
that's what happens
everyone
to me.
else is a horrible piece of shit.
See?
What?
Don't interrupt his brooding.
So, how do we proceed?
Have the speakers left? In success, you will see them again soon in far happier circumstances.
Oh, man! Oh, no! Point ahead! Point ahead! God damn it. God damn. I'm sorry, Trevor. If this becomes an actual thing, like between who can be more polite, it's gonna be delightful. Delightful. They're already delightful. I love this trio. Just, they haven't interacted much, but just who they are, I can tell it's going to be just wonderful.
See? He knows how to be nice. Is it true, then?
Castle moves. How to describe it? It travels without moving.
Look, it's like, beam me up, Scotty. That's how it is.
There has to be some way to trap it.
I was under the impression it was destroyed.
It was. But the value of the old house wasn't the house itself.
This is very cool and all, and but the way that Adrian's like cloak is all spread out, like he's so just like at any moment ready to just strike pose, just what character? Oh no, it was a vine. It was a vine that was like, can't take a bad picture or something, whatever it was. It was just like that friend that you can't get a bad picture of, or was it a show? I can't remember. I don't know, but it's just like he's just like any moment when someone takes out a camera and he's just like, oh, sultry eyes, hair, cloak all. It just strikes me as that sort of person. Whereas like Trevor's the one who cannot take a good picture for the life of him. Like he can like sit there and try so hard, and then he just like ends up with a derpy face because he has to blink. Like that's just. I need to stop having headcanons about this trio before they've even started doing stuff.
The collecting knowledge and material of generations of Belmonts who fought the creatures of the night. That sounds interesting.
I like how he does
It
value
survives.
the Belmonts.
Fortunate indeed, then, that I chose not to kill you and eat you, Belmont.
And that I decided against gutting you, flaying you, and turning you into shoes, a la carte.
I will find us a covered wagon and horses if you two can manage not to kill each other while I'm gone.
That's like a
please.
50-50.
We're not children.
He shouldn't die.
Yes, fuck you.
They're delightful. They're delightful. I love them. I love them. I love them. Like, I know that I was like, you know, really faving Isaac and Hector, but you know what? This is just a great trio. There's like, what I like already is the level of respect. Because even though they're like, oh, you're lucky that I didn't eat you, and oh, you're lucky that I didn't turn you into boot, it's like, Adrian has this, like, he has a respect for the Belmont, like, collected knowledge. And obviously, like, this whole thing right here was quite playful. You know, it was like the moment she was out of sight, it was like, yeah, no, it's almost joking. Like, it's acknowledging that they had a rough start. But there is like this, and they might continue to have a rough middle and maybe even a rough end, but there is a level of respect between the two of them. And I think that's what's going to make it work, is that if they were just like honestly going at each other's throats the entire time, it would get really tiresome. But the fact that they do have a level of like baseline respect and will probably butt heads while still having that baseline respect, that makes them more interesting. Because just having two characters who just snark at each other all the time, that honestly gets a little boring. Like, it can be amusing at first, but honestly, but by the end, it's just like, can't you just find something to get along? I don't know. I like nuance. I really enjoy nuance in my media, and two characters who do snark at each other, but have that underlying respect. I like, that's a more interesting relationship to me than two who just can't stand each other at all times. You know, see, it's like they're kind of laughing at, like, you know.
You really believe we could find the tools to kill my father at your old home?
I don't have a better idea. I just know that
And the
right
honesty
here, right
there.
now,
I'm trusting you, Belmont. Don't make me regret it.
There we go. The
nobody
trust.
regrets it in the end.
So he must have some aversion to sunlight, because she definitely made sure to get a covered wagon, but it can't be like that bad.
Hector and Isaac would guide our next steps. You will cease this infantile squabbling.
Seriously, Mom's here. Watch out. Hello, who's this? Her heels are bigger than Dracula's. Okay, she's a bigwig. She's late.
I am Carmela. I am come from far Styria to join the War Council.
I'm always really fascinated when people do, like, depictions of Carmela, because I mean, she's taken such a back seat in, like, vampire lore. You know, obviously, like, Dracula became the big one, but Carmela came first, I think about 10 years. And then, of course, it was her kind of, you know, sapphic lusting after... I can't remember the name. But it was, you know, again, because the Victorians were such prudes about sex, at least on the outside. I mean, there was that whole seedy, porny underside where it's like, ooh, okay, you know. It's kind of like, you know, it's like Pornhub today, except Pornhub is even more recognizable. It's just, God, I love it. I love the Victorians. But it's like, you know, so they not only took, like, sexual elements, but they made it, like, lesbians. And then Dracula, you know, of course, had those really sexual elements as well. And kind of, it depends on, you know, who you talk to, but Dracula's feelings for Jonathan, you can think about him. Anyway, yeah, so it's always interesting to see how they, like, adapt Carmela. Like, some stick close to the kind of original idea of her, and then some don't do that at all. So we'll see what happens with this version of Carmela. She's gonna be trouble.
Your forces were repelled from a single city-state.
Your generals are in disarray. It is time to offer my insights to your great cause.
Why was this new wife of yours never turned?
Ooh. She didn't want to be.
What did you say?
Were you simply keeping a human pet? And if so, why is vampire society going to war with the world over it?
I don't know what her goal is, but she
Yes.
is going to be so much trouble. Which I've said like 5 times now.
That was a dramatic entrance, Carmela.
It was intended to unsettle a room full of men. I prefer in such situations to arrive with as many advantages as possible.
I don't know how far she can play the girl boss card. Because it's not like his whole, like, it's not like all the vampires down there are men. Like, yes, there's like Godbrand and stuff, but they're not all men, and they don't seem to have, like, the vampires certainly don't seem to have inherent sexism. You know, like, the female vampires are just mingling with the male vampires. There's not as many of them, no, but Dracula also, like, when he was talking to Lisa, he was not like, oh my god, it's a woman. Like, I don't know, a vampire seemed to have, like, moved past that, so Carmilla coming in and being like, no, I had to play my girl boss card, like, I'm not sure how, like, necessary that was, you know? It was definitely a power play against Dracula himself. I don't know. I don't know if the show is gonna have her play the girl boss card, or if it is actually really just her trying to give BS reasons for why she acted the way she did, but that did not feel like, ooh, I needed to assert that I am, you know, very tough so that the men won't take advantage of me. She came in there and she was like, yo, Dracula, why are we even having this war? Why didn't you turn your wife? Or was she a little pet? Jeez.
Why has Godbrand been in regular communication with you?
She promised him a boat.
Suspect he still wants to sleep with me.
And yet, I prefer to know my general's ties and compromises.
If all the other vampire males in the world drop dead, and half the females, some of the animals.
Oh, okay, so she's at least bisexual and into bestiality. I get that last part was a joke, but you know, okay, so she's definitely not like the vampire lesbian Carmilla, but she's partly there. See, they're two very intelligent people. I think could get along, but I feel like she comes in there and does that immediate power play. She's not looking to get along with him.
You just denounced the choice not to turn my dead wife in front of all my generals.
It's a question they have all been asking themselves.
Oh, so you were helping.
Of course, my lord.
Hector and Isaac, my forge masters, will be directing our next moves.
Okay, that means they're
I'm sure they
both
would
Forge
enjoy
Masters.
your
Good. Okay, that just confirms it. She's gonna screw him over.
I'm still not completely clear on why you don't catch fire in the daylight.
I am half human.
There we go.
I would very much like to hear the story of how that happened.
He was
She
very
actually
cute.
showed up at his front door. Oh, she was remarkable.
She was lovely.
She beat on the door until my father let her in.
Wait, Dracula taught a human woman how to be a doctor. What was first? Bloodletting?
God, you still think you're funny.
This show has so many sassy queens, and I love them. Oh, he obviously loved his mother. He obviously loves his mother so much. You know, it's an interesting, like, timeline here, though, because, you know, like, they must have had him, and then Dracula decided to go roam the world while Lisa went back to Lupu village and became a doctor. Like, it just... Where were you? Where were you, Adrian? Come on. I think it's a valid question. But no, he obviously just loves her so much, and I don't know. I wonder if that distance between him and his father has always been there, or if that's something that sprouted up after Lisa's death. You know? Because, I mean, yes, it seems that his father attacked him and wounded him, and he went to go sleep under the village. But I don't know. I wonder if he always felt closer to the human side or the vampire side. I want to get into his psyche a little bit about that. Like, how human did you feel? Because obviously he talks about how, you know, people called him Alucard, like the opposite of Dracula, defining him by his father, but his mother never liked that, and it seems like he kind of agreed with that. Until now, of course. But when your father is Dracula, like, how hard do you hold on to the human part of you to try to make that part also matter? Or do you try to just hold on to the vampire part because that's the part that makes you, like, super powerful? I don't know. I want to sit down with him for, like, a little talkie session.
My father,
Dracula,
is a man of science, a
See,
scholar,
they're also challenging
and
each
knows
other.
things
There
our
we go.
society have forgotten 3 times over. There is no recovering him.
shame.
He could have changed the world. I think he might have, if Mother hadn't died. She'd sent him out into the world.
So he also has that great respect for his father. He might have changed the world. Wow. Okay, so new ideas. Like, how do you live when you feel so overshadowed by how great your father is? He loves his mother, obviously. Like, the way that he talks about her is he loves her, but he talks about, you know, his father, and Trevor very, you know, tactfully reminds him that that's Dracula. But and he talks about his father. It's like, it's with a reverence, you know, like, it is just a shame that he's gone mad because he could have changed the world. That makes me feel like maybe they weren't that close when he was growing up. Like, maybe Lisa took over more of the parenting thing, because I think that would lead to more of the intense love versus the intense admiration. So he can love and admire Lisa, but really has a lot of, like, admiration for his father, but maybe not with the same amount of love. Or maybe I'm just taking this way too deep and should just keep watching the goddamn scene.
And that's why I wasn't there when the bishops took her.
Oh, where were you?
She sent him away?
She sent him to travel. Imagine if he could have aimed all that knowledge at improving lives. Trees will still grow. Birds will still sing. Animals will still hump away in the undergrowth.
His coat is still perfect
you
for
won't
a
be here.
photo op. Now I know who made them. It's kind of like... You might just have to play mediator at some point, honey. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure Trevor's just gonna, like, attack from long range, so... It's not that they're...
Father.
I'm pretty sure he's just gonna attack from long range, so it's not like they're not getting along. If he attacks from long range, it actually means that they are, like, in sync without even talking about it. So if they end up actually, like, attacking at the same time, that's actually a really good show of like teamwork, and she doesn't need to keep sighing and rolling her eyes. That is actually, they're really in sync. Ooh, they're advanced. They can use weapons. There we go! In sync. Battle buddies. Oh, she's so cool.
Nobody's going to our guest tonight.
Good job, folks. Oh, geez, are we getting some self-flagellation? Oh, I don't know. It was only like slightly on topic, but I remember when I went to go see the Da Vinci Code in theaters and Paul Bettany started that part where he was, weapon himself. I actually had to like leave the theater because I was really squeamish back then. Like, I couldn't take blood or gore at all. Which is weird that I'm now like such a horror fan. But man, it's left like its mark. Like, I always remember that moment of just like feeling like I had to leave the theater because I couldn't take like how awful that scene was. Not that it was like, an awful scene, but it was just like awful what he was doing to himself, Yeah, see, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this. So does he do this for like actual like reasons, or like to remind himself of why he hates humans so much? He's just a kiddo.
Oh. You actually wanted to learn so you could help me do my work? Why?
Oh my god, fuck this guy.
Just tell me, Isaac. It's alright.
No, you've just been whipping him for like 10 minutes.
I love you.
There's blood all
Even
over the
after
place.
everything in your life, you're still a sweet boy who believes in love.
Stop!
That's why I do this. This is how I love you. You stop fucking around, you do as you're told, you never use the word love again.
Oh my god, kill him. Kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. Ah! Yes, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Yes. Okay. Oh, stop.
No
please.
such thing as love in this world.
Wow, okay. Yeah, you have, okay. Okay. You have reason to, okay, yeah, no, we're on I'm on your page. I'm on your page. I'm not necessarily, I'm not on the, kill all the humans sort of thing, but I get where you are coming from, okay? Like, you... At this point, you can do nothing wrong. I see where you're coming from.
Why do you do that? The whipping.
And inuring myself to a world of horrors.
We have a horror right here for you.
Godfrey just can't get enough of like saying something stupid and getting this instant glare side. It's not really a glare, but they're just like, why is someone so stupid in my vicinity? Oh man. Oh. So discipline. I mean, I'm gonna guess that it's. I'm gonna just guess that it's discipline to just kind of remember why he does this. I mean, they say that hurt people, but it's like, he's a hurt person. He just keeps hurting himself. Because that's what he knew, and it's what needs to happen to keep him going on his goal.
I'm sorry. You struggled so hard to come back home. So loyal. Pain in the night. And death on your master's floor.
So
Perhaps that's all that awaits me too. Dracula will bring a pure world into being. I believe that.
Okay. Okay, I like that. So he and this one's Isaac, right? Isaac and Hector both are forge masters, but they have definite different ways of doing it. I mean, he's doing something different. He's like fixing a broken monster, whereas Hector was making new ones out of the dead people. But I don't know. What I'm going for is I'm a sucker for the blue and red motif.
A clean world where there is only loyalty.
I think he'd get rid of all the vampires. I get the feeling that Isaac would be totally fine with killing most of the vampires. Because if he believes that's a world without love and it's really like without saving, then he just wants those who are loyal. And he's loyal to Dracula, so he'd probably be fine with just like him and Dracula. I don't think he'd even include Hector. Because Hector doesn't... He talked about how he wishes that there was no more suffering, really. Like, he didn't like the pointless suffering or something like that. Whereas Isaac talked about how there should be lots of suffering, which makes sense seeing his backstory now. But I'm going to guess that he would see... where he's loyal to Dracula, so I don't think he would see it as a weakness. I think he would look at Hector and probably see not wanting to cause suffering as a weakness. So I think that he'd be totally fine if it was a world that was just like him and Dracula and everybody else was dead. Because I don't think he sees the other I don't think he could see the other vampires as loyal to Dracula, because Dracula already gave the order for them to listen to him and Hector, as their generals, and they're not listening. I think he's going to have real issues with Carmela. Just because of the loyalty thing. Because she's not loyal. You can just kind of tell. I don't know. I don't know the guy very well, but...
You're so alone.
We'll have to accept that we've lost the party.
Argesh has no real importance. You should have counseled an attack on Brayla.
Any city built over running water is a place that we should approach carefully.
Oh, okay, so the running water is part of their lore in this one, okay.
Baths aren't running water though, are they?
Of course they are.
The water stopped being poured when you get in.
The Greeks used to bury us on small islands. It's not like we're given a manual for being a vampire.
Enough!
True.
Do you really think that's enough, Hector?
So they're trying to figure out whether they can go to river cities, basically. This is the running water problem. They haven't really established that it's like a definite kill thing. But certainly that it is part of their lore. I like the point that it's like being a vampire doesn't come with a handbook. Like it comes and then it's like, you used to be human, but it's like, okay, so what could kill you? Like, the only way that you're gonna know whether running water really does kill vampires or not is if you actually see a vampire die because of running water. But I don't like the way that she went over and started talking to Hector there. Like, I don't want her to talk to Hector because, I don't know. In the last episode, they already had the thing where he was like, where the camera was right on him when they were talking about like betrayal and all that stuff. And so I don't like Carmela, who is obviously going to be causing problems for Dracula. I really don't need her, like, approaching Hector at this point. Like, that just seems like a really bad... That seems a really bad combination for them to be having, like little conversations with each other. I don't know.
Taking Argesh brings only terror and will scatter the human populace. Taking Brayla seals off one side of Wallachia.
I must disclose that I revived the
betrayal.
creature that returned. The party was attacked on the road. We are quite certain that Alucard sleeps at Greshit. And that there was recently a Belmont there.
I thought they were extinct.
How do they
No.
know that?
We believe our Lord's son Alucard and the Belmont may have worked together.
Perhaps on the general notion that the Belmonts hunted the likes of us for fucking centuries. This
You're
is
not
your
gonna
war
have
council,
sex,
my
boy.
lord?
So the trio's really great. I really like how Adrian and Trevor have this already, like, Cypher's giving them just, like, she's giving them eye rolls, and I think that she's definitely, like, oh my gosh, the boys aren't getting along. But they are. They're getting along in their own way, and through, like, insulting each other and then laughing about it, and, fighting together, like, in a way that's, like, really in sync and helps with both their styles, one of them being a very close-up fighter and the other one taking advantage with his whip. Like, that's really great. And then she's able to come along, like, freaking... I don't even know. She's just a force of nature. And... it's a good trio. It's a good trio. And I like... Also, Saifa's relationship with Adrian is nice too. Like, she's willing to kind of listen, and he's also, like, kind of like, they're the more emotionally in tune people who can talk to each other, whereas Alucard, Adrian and Trevor have have this rapport going on where they don't get along, but they get along. The only one that is still rough is Trevor and Saifa, and I think that they'll get along eventually. I think, she's very judgmental of him. That was, like, the most obvious statement ever, but I think that she's just pretty emotionally intelligent, and he struggles with emotions, so it's going to take him opening up emotionally for her, I think, to connect with him, whereas Adrian already, is obviously in pain over what's going on, and so she can connect to him more easily, and obviously he was able to connect to her, saying goodbye to the speakers. He was able to, be show sympathy for that. So I think once Trevor just kind of, opens up a little bit, he'll be fine. But until then, that's probably the roughest part of the triangle. Isaac's backstory was really rough. Oh my god. I'm willing to forgive him for, like, practically anything at this point, because my god, that is so rough. Carmela is trouble. She's trouble. She's just... And, like I said, I don't know how far she's gonna play the girl boss thing. I don't like that she was talking to Hector, who was already, like, ooh, is he a traitor? It's just, like... so I don't like that she's talking to him. Like, I would kind of like to just, get my hands in there and just... And it's also, I do think that Isaac would be okay with just a world that's him and Dracula, because he sees himself as loyal, and I don't think that he'll include Hector, especially now that Hector is disagreeing with him on the war thing. And moreover, it's not that he's disagreeing with Isaac, it's that he's agreeing with Carmela, who I think Isaac has already marked as not loyal to Dracula. So anytime that Hector agrees with a Carmela, I think is going to be a strike against him. So I'm kind of wondering if Carmela's thing, like, I don't think that she wants Dracula to succeed. Or at least, I think that if she wants Dracula to succeed, she doesn't want him to be charged and to be in charge when it happens. Like, I think it would totally be a thing for her to try to, like, take his place. I mean, because she is, you know, I mean, Carmela is a formidable vampire. She was the first vampire to be written about in books. So it would make sense that she thinks that she should be on top. And I wonder if putting a wedge between the two generals who can make the Night Hordes would be her way of, like, taking control. Because Dracula is strong because he is Hector and Isaac. He's got two people who are loyal to him, who don't like humanity, even if one of them doesn't want them to suffer anymore. But he's got two people who don't like humanity, who have this miraculous power of forging, and have been able to give him this army, and whose loyalty he doesn't question. So I wonder if her power play is going to be trying to take his generals away from him. Or at least one of them. I don't think she would budge Isaac, but I wonder if she could get to Hector some way. I mean, if I was Carmilla, I would, you know, definitely just try to get to know him. And, like, Hector is obviously, like, I think he's definitely going to have, like, some self-esteem stuff, because if your old mom is basically like, wow, I wish I had, you know, I wish I'd aborted you basically, or, you know, killed you as soon as you were born, you're gonna have some issues. Even if you, yeah, I mean, you know, especially since you killed your parents later. I was like, even if you manage to kill them later, but no, that's actually gonna cause more issues. I think Isaac you're not gonna get with flattery, because for him, he had a master who he loved enough that he wanted to help him, and then that master was just like, "Oh, I love you too." Whip, 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 whip. This is how I show love! And so, like, Isaac has associated loving someone with pain. And so it's interesting that he's replaced having a master with having a master in Dracula. But I think, I don't know, it's interesting that he stopped and was like, "You're so alone." I think he recognizes a kind of a kindred spirit, because Dracula is alone and is in pain, and loving someone, loving Lisa, is what has led to his pain right now. Same as Isaac's loving someone led to his pain. But it's different for Hector, I think, because it sounds like he at least grew up with his parents a little bit, and then eventually killed them. I'm not sure why they hated him so much. Maybe it was this, like, magic ability. I don't know if he would have, like, been able to do that as a kid, but, I mean, that would be pretty freaky. I don't know. If Carmilla wants to get Hector, I think that she would just have to, like, praise him a little bit. Like, I don't want to say that he's got, like, a praise kink or anything, but I think that she would just have to, like, praise him a little bit, because he's not used to that. And I think that if she came at it from being kind of like an equal, because he gets praise from Dracula for doing a good job, and, you know, and that's great. But that's also, like, a master. So I think if someone kind of took, like, a role of being more of a friend, but also praising him, that might work pretty well. I don't know. Maybe this is all wrong and I'm stupid. But I'm definitely worried about Carmilla, like, just talking to Hector. I don't want her doing that. Because for me personally, when I can think of how I would manipulate him, I'm pretty sure that, like, a vampire can do it. That's it. Anyway, sorry for rambling. Again, my name is Kira. if you enjoyed the video, if you want to like or subscribe, or the link to my coffee is down in the description. That would mean the world. Yeah, so I hope you're doing well wherever and whenever you are, and I will see you soon. Bye.